Female dementia residents can often become more enamoured with male staff than other male dementia residents for a number of reasons. One of the big reasons is because male staffers tend to sweet talk female dementia residents, especially if they've got difficult behaviours. Sweet talking de-escalates them, and so it's part of the terrain really a lot of the time. And many of the female dementia residents often think that it's genuine advances from the staff, when of course it's not. But mostly it doesn't come to any, problem or difficulty. But there is occasionally a female dementia resident who harasses other male dementia residents. And I've borne witness to this, where there was this woman who just thought she was the bee's knees, and she'd say openly, I look younger than the other woman, I'm more attractive than the other woman, I can have him if I want. She was just a piece of work. And she set about harassing two of the most eligible men in the unit. Now, the first man was actually happily married and found it extremely irritating having this woman shadowing and stalking him all day long. It was really unfortunate because he was making a lot of effort to be, cool and calm. Just living in the place was hard enough for him. He was making a real effort to try and contain himself. And having this woman harassing him all day long just really used to wind him up, understandably. And he'd walk past the desk and he'd say, oh, I've just had enough. I can feel myself winding up. I just have to go to my room, otherwise I'll just lash out. And he was so disciplined in that. He'd go to his room, wind himself, wind down so that he didn't get wound up and lash out, as he knew he would if it reached a certain point. But in the end, what we actually did was, it became a real issue for him. His next door neighbour was a lovely woman and a good friend of his. So we worked out that she became like his neighbourhood watch. So she'd go around with him all day in the unit, preventing this other woman from getting access. And if the other woman tried to come in on this guy, she'd just call out, get away, get off. Oh, she had a very loud, assertive voice, and she really liked her friends, so she was very protective, and she'd sort of loudspeaker out for this woman to get away. And in the end, it just became too difficult for the stalking woman to get access or make any headway, and so she sort of petered out after a while. But the other man that she decided to get her sights on was married, and his wife wasn't that affectionate, didn't really give him much attention, whilst this woman certainly did. And whilst he didn't, what's the word for it? I can't think of it, sorry. He didn't initiate any behaviour himself, but he certainly didn't dismiss it. But so I just used to say to him, look, your wife wants to see you. And that was the one thing that did make him move and go to see his wife. Whether she did or not, who knows, but still, at least that sort of ruptured the connection at the time. And again, she petered out on that one, this woman, but she was on this high vigilance, have to have a man, I can do it type program for a good year. So it really did affect the unit. But she didn't go after any other men at the unit, thankfully. Mind you, men are in the minority. In a dementia unit, you've only got 5 or 6 men there in the first place, so it's not like you've got a big range. Whereas if you're a male exhibiting inappropriate behaviour, of course there's lots of women there of many ages, and so it's a lot more generically problematic with men. So these are just things to look out for. It's certainly not as common. It's not that common for women to stalk men in dementia units. I only came up once with this example, or observed this one example, but it was problematic. It was definitely problematic. So the world's a big world out there and many things go on, so we just need to be mindful and aware of these things that can go on right out in the open, actually. And we always think, oh well, staff will look after it, but again, the staff are busy. They do what they can, but they're often in a rooms doing cares, doing medications, dressings. They haven't got time to police all day, all these things. So as a relative, just be mindful of these dynamics. Make sure or encourage for your mother, say, to get a good friend, be part of the activities group. If you're part of the group, you're much less likely to get targeted than if you're on your own sitting in the corner somewhere. So I've written about these books and more in the 2 books, I've written about these topics and more in these books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Both companion books made for each other. This book is for when people go into dementia units, the first couple of months, say, everything you need to know, and when a person's in a facility and how to address problems that come about with positive practical techniques. And both these books are on Amazon, soft copy, hard copy, and what's the other one? Ebook. Yeah, that's quite popular. And my description, website below, pietavalentine.com. Now, just to let you know, little sticker here, I'm planning to come to Australia at some point soon to do a retreat on this work, because on TikTok especially, 44% of the viewers are from Australia. So I'm planning to come to Melbourne first up. I know most of the viewers are from Sydney and Brisbane actually, but I'm not sure if I can get there yet. But Melbourne I'm starting with. So I'm hoping very much that those of you viewing these channels and subscribing can come. It would be fantastic to see you, meet you, get your ideas. And I'll let you know all this information in the description below and mentioning it on the site as well. So thank you for your subscriptions, views and comments. And please subscribe, those of you that haven't. Thank you.